amazing intro. It's paper rolling over conveyor belts. .exe. All right, hello everyone. Thank you, Vinny, for the host. This is not a host, but for the recommendation. It was the request of a dying man. It was his last breath. He spelled my name correctly. So that song was Losel the song was titled Hydrogen by an artist named Losel. It's actually one of his very first songs, and the rest of his songs don't really sound much like this at all. And yes, all my intros are extremely abstract. Because I'm so artistic, you guys. Squirrelicious here saying, why do I stream so late? I always stream around this time, if I do stream. So a whole bunch of follows, oh my god. Thank you, Lil Pete, Wafflux, Pluppers, Snoop, Sir Digby, Elite, T-Start, Watcher, and Annoyed. All very incredible names. So what I'm playing tonight is a rather strange game. It's kind of a city builder, but it's a very strange approach to a city builder game. And you'll see. It'll take some explaining, I suppose, but I'll let the game speak for itself. Thank you for all the robo hosts as well, from Pocketomi and Archer and Desert P. All right. Oh, that's right, I muted the audio on this. That's why it's so quiet. Here it is. I know you can't see it right now. And the game's in-game music gets a little irritating after a while, so I might, if it gets annoying, turn the in-game music off and play my own ambient stuff over it, which normally I'm like, oh, it's the cardinal sin. I mean, I hate removing a game's music, but it gets really repetitive, so. I'm just seeing if I missed anything in the chat. Yeah, pretty much all my intro songs are by Losel. Part of that is just because I really love the artist and his music, but also because Twitch doesn't mute his tracks. And the one time I tried playing something that wasn't his music, it got muted. On YouTube and Twitch. I know, and I hate it that the video does not loop completely. All right, so this game is called Blockhood, and it's pretty abstract, and I see that there's a lot of problems in it, and the problems frustrate me a lot, but the concept that they're going for, I think, is good enough that I am willing to deal with the obnoxiousness of some of the problems with it, so. Okay. I'll start out with a very simple beginning challenge so you can kind of see what's going on here. To make sure you can actually see all this. Now the text is going to be so tiny on everyone's screen that I can barely see it, and that's one of the big problems right up front, is that the text is very, very small. I normally try to stream the game in 1920 by 1280 by 720, so that it fits perfectly like one-to-one with a stream, but there's a glitch right off the bat that you have to change the game above a certain resolution, otherwise random HUD elements disappear, and they're important ones. So that's a cool feature, right? Oh my god, Chatty updated with more follows. Let me run through those really quick. Thank you, Gansas, Mr. Cheese, Meal the Male, B-Dude, Antagonistin, Phoenix, Wignut, Van the Ham, Classy Sheep, The Red Blueberry, Dum Dum, Shyest Gamer, William, Lurker, 6, Gentlemanly Soldier Forever, and Anon, Josemi, King Capybara. Sweet. Also, I am a major sucker for low poly art. So my current challenge, as you can see in the top left corner, This is the very first challenge of the game. I have to produce 250 water. And this game is a city builder, except nothing that you build is done, or nothing that you build has a down payment. It's an entirely rate-focused city builder, and space is very small, and that's part of the challenge too, is that you have almost no horizontal space, very minimal, and you have to stack stuff. And you also have to keep things located next to one another, and they get synergy points, which I'm sure some like CEO at a company just loves the synergy. So water challenge right now. So right off the bat, I'm just gonna drop a whole bunch of solar panels, even though it's nighttime. And so on the left here, you can see that my resources at the moment, the only things that are being generated is now a tiny bit of electricity. And when it becomes daytime, obviously solar panels work better. And my money count is at perfect 0 because I'm not losing money and I'm not gaining any money. And also, yes, I see every chat message. I just won't respond to every single one, so I do read the chat. So I'm just gonna drop a water collector. And then now you can see that the water collector takes 1 unit of money every, I can't remember exactly like the progression that it does, but you lose a little bit of money every time it's used. This first challenge, I might be able to just kind of BS it. Actually, I'm gonna try doing that. I'm just gonna drop a whole bunch of water collectors and see if I can generate enough water. Actually, I may run out of money. You cannot speed up and slow down time, so... Yeah, and I can rotate around, zoom in, zoom out. So the challenges will start out kind of slow in the beginning. 60 out of 250, okay, I probably am going to run out of money. So then the point that you'd usually go from here, which... yeah, I probably can't recover from this, so I'll restart, but... Like I said, that nothing has a down payment, so I can put as many as anything around as I want, except you have to pay money over time to maintain something. So... like windmill or wind turbines take money to do to maintain. There's an algae farm, which actually doesn't take any money. And the amount of different rates that you have to keep track of are just insane. Like right now, it looks like nothing, but this menu can get up to like 40 to 50 different things. And it doesn't label any particular thing as bad. And it leaves it up to you to decide if it's bad or not. Like you have a greenhouse gas limit. Some things will add greenhouse gas and some things will take away. And it doesn't say, you know, is it good to have greenhouse gas or is it bad? Or I'll have sickness. So you'll have a green rate number for sickness, and sickness will be on the rise, and it'll be kind of treated like, oh, this is great. And it's because it's increasing and it's green, but then you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I don't want sickness. I want less sickness. So then you have to find things that will detract from sickness. And this is going to fail me because I'm going to get down to 0 money units and I won't be able to make any water. When you have 0 money, you're basically fucked. You're sucked. And like this is a very slow one to start out on, so I'll skip ahead to one that is more entertaining to watch. I already beat this one earlier. The one I am currently on is the price of oil. So the challenge says, oil is a great resource to produce energy, but it comes at a cost. Figure out what you need to avoid. There's some like weird grammar issues in this game too, but figure out what you need to avoid the trade-offs. Oh, what you need to avoid the trade-offs. Produce 1,000 units of electricity with less than 100 units of sickness. So you kind of run into that RTS, not RTS, like the city builder problem of, it got really highly efficient energy producers, but they're filthy coal burning plants and things like that. So I got to make 1,000 units of electricity, and everything starts out in the most basic form. So as the challenges get more difficult, you have to continually add items. You have to like start from the very beginning again. So I always start by placing a water thing, and I could have to restart to make this work better. Okay, go away, tooltip. For some reason it closes your resource panel at the beginning. Like you need to be looking at it at all times. Why would it leave it closed? So I'll start out easy. And so you have 4 different types of production going on here. You got public space, which tend to be more things about like utility. Just maintaining a city, like the fundamental pieces of a city. And then you have production. Or I'm sorry, public space are like things that people use to access things like roads and all that. And normally you have access to more with these challenges purposely, limit everything. And production are like the fundamental parts of city. And at the moment I only have oil well, oil tank, oil generator. And I have not beaten this challenge yet. But then to actually get money, you need people and people to run certain utilities. So you have to have different types of apartments and living spaces to attract types of people. Smaller, cheaper apartments will attract labor types of people, and higher class, large apartments will attract youth. I think the implication is that you're attracting families who have kids. Then of course, people won't live in your city unless there's a level of leisure and fresh air. So that's when nature comes in, is that trees, from the standpoint of this game, trees require just water. Just about everything only needs water, but they give you fresh air, some give you organic waste, some reduce greenhouse gases, but they provide leisure and fresh air. And these are all of the same biome, but if you pick common trees of a certain biome together, they will get synergy points, because they're all, yeah, so that's what happens when it has a little blue arrow like that. That means that now it has synergy +1. It means that it will produce whatever it produces more efficiently. So that's why you want to keep things kind of grouped together. So, and they're also, you can tell by the green tile that it sits on, that they're the same shade of green, so that means that they have that in common. And I do like the music in this game right now, but it can get a little repetitive, because I think it's the only song in the whole game. So now that I have that in place, you can see that money is lowering, which is a problem, so I'm going to have to start bringing people in. So I have to make a people tower. So I'll try to remember how I did this last time. I think it'd be best to do this. When a corridor touches the outer edge, that is how it's accessible. There's different graphs here. There's decay, meaning if something is not getting the proper amount of inputs, it will decay. And if it does not receive its inputs for like 8 times or something, I think they all have different decay rates, it will just blow up and you'll lose it. And there's production data, how productive certain things are being. Right now the elevator is not being very productive because there's no people in my town. Accessibility, if things are able to be accessed, they have to be placed in certain areas. Structural support, as stuff gets taller, it gets weaker. You gotta make sure everything is a lot stronger. Biodiversity is about environmental stuff and land value. Okay. So we get to listen to, what is it, Gary the cricket or whatever. So I'm gonna start with some low-level, small apartments, which will, all they need is fresh air, electricity, water, leisure, and at the moment, oh, electricity, no wonder. Oh, that's the challenge of this, isn't it? Okay, that totally threw me for a loop. I forgot. I normally just place a bunch of wind turbines, but they're purposely only allowing oil to be the thing. So, okay, I gotta think about this before everything dies again. Doing too much talking. Okay, so oil well takes money, but produces oil, inorganic waste, and produces greenhouse gases. Oil tank takes oil, gives you 2 oil and money, okay, and then oil generator takes oil and money and it makes electricity. So I need all 3 of these. So it's the fundamental piece that I need is oil well. So I'll just start placing these. So this is pretty time sensitive. So electricity is still dropping, and I shouldn't have placed those apartments actually. I'm gonna lose them very soon. I'm gonna lose them in 4, I guess, days. I'm not quite sure what the production rate is. I'll lose, which isn't a big punishment to lose them, it's just that everything is about balance. All of this needs to be bouncing off one another, keep things in check. When they flash red like that, it means they're dead. I lost the elevator, so that it killed everything else. Okay. Let me start over. Resume. Alright, so water. I'll get some chill trees, things that produce leisure and all that. I'll get that going so that leisure and fresh air can start generating. And then right off the bat, I'm gonna have to get some oil wells going. I'll just get 1 and see how it goes. You don't always need to overproduce stuff. Yeah, the buildings, when they're very small, they look pretty ugly. But they're kind of designed to look well when they're all stacked together into a big mashup. By themselves, it just kind of looks like a closet. Okay, so how is this doing? It's definitely taking my money out. And I have 4 oil barrels, okay. So I think 1 might be good enough for now. Okay, so the good thing is to store stuff. This is like this for a lot of different energy sources, is that you, when you store them, it allows them to be distributed. It takes in some, and then it gives you some back. So in a weird abstract way, that's how they make storage work in this environment. I know it's hard to explain, but it makes sense to me. I don't think there's any problem having them near each other. Oh, that's right, they do have this synergistic effect, so they should produce better because the storage is near where it's being extracted from. Okay, so storage. This will actually give me money back, so my money is in the green. But the goal of this puzzle is to produce electricity. So, you know, I technically have a stable society right here with no people. It's just oil being pulled out and stored. And I got water and trees. But there's no people here. So I don't know how all of this is working without people, but... And I believe I'm gonna need people... Oh, actually, I don't think I need people for this puzzle. Sometimes they can deceive you and be like, hey... You have all this stuff, what you really only need to keep oil balanced. So this is probably simpler than it looks. Oil generator, okay, so we're producing electricity at 1.1. I don't know what the rate unit is. Yeah, peopleless environment is the real utopia. Yeah, it is sort of like, yeah, bank interest. So yeah, it's like a city builder, but it's a puzzle city builder. And people don't really have emotions in the city, more of a utopian society. They don't have emotions in the sense that their demand for stuff is always as high as it goes. So there aren't fluctuations in what people want, they just always want the exact same thing. So it's really rigid. sort of society. So I could just sit here and wait for it to go up to 1,000 as it adds one. I don't really, it's the rate dependent on this rate of production. I'll have to figure that out. But I want production to go faster, so I'm going to... Uh-oh. Okay, these have bad effect by being next to one another, so I can get rid of that. I think that's because they don't want to share the ground, so they should not be touching in order to work efficiently. I don't know what this needs to work faster. Does it need more sand? No? Game isn't always totally clear about certain mechanics, and I enjoy that from time to time, but it can get kind of frustrating. Alright, looks like I'm able to support that. I have I'm generating a lot of money right now. Those trees are generating tons of fresh air. Let's see if I can support a third. Thank you for the follows, DD2Me and Jaeger Moo. So if I were trying to make this be a full working society, problems happening right now is that greenhouse gas is rising very fast. Sickness is also rising. Oh, that was one of the challenges. I can't exceed 100 sickness. Maybe this isn't as simple as I thought. Let's see. What was the challenge? Less than 100 sickness. Okay, because right now sickness is rising fast. So let me check what the main producer of sickness is. Looks like the oil generator is producing it. What reduces sickness, though? Nothing does. Great. Now I gotta think about this. Yeah, I am also, my inorganic waste is going very high. Organic waste is rising. But for this challenge, that doesn't sound like we're worried about waste products. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how to reduce it. Let me check. Oh, duh. Okay, I need a hospital. So I do need people in my society. It might be too late. So I need medical care workers to reduce sickness. Okay, I'm dumb. So let me just whip up a society real quick, because that always works. So I can't just place a hospital because I need to have at least one knowledge point, and my people are not educated enough to be doctors, so I need a school. But I can't gain knowledge without youth and labor, and I can't get youth without apartments that accommodate families, and I can't get labor without cheap housing. So it just goes down the line. Sickness is at 57. You just finished Concrete Jungle and you wanted to try this one out. What's Concrete Jungle like? It sounds kind of familiar. This one when I first started, I was about ready to give up because I thought it was so dumb at first because the interface was kind of clunky and the visual part of it is really what appealed to me initially. But I guess my bit of advice is give it a chance. It takes a bit for you to find value in it. Okay, so as you can see on the left, consumers are rising. Have a lot of money, that's good. I don't really need money for this challenge, I don't think. Labor is at 24. Okay, that should be good. But I need youths. So I'll build some higher end apartments here. You can hear a guy, it sounds like he's saying wee wee. Make sure everything is accessible. Which it is not. Because I did not make the elevator rise to that point. It's a good thing I checked. There, now everything is accessible. Camera can get a little frustrating at times, so you kind of gotta get used to it. Alright, am I getting enough youths? I have 9 children. I mean, I wish more of these things were visually represented. Like, you'll occasionally get a few people, like actual models of people walking around, but it doesn't nearly reflect how many are in your cities. I don't know. Okay, so schools. Maybe I should stack schools over this way. Every time you see something flash, that means it produces whatever it produces. That's not a bug. I'm almost halfway to my electricity limit. I don't see any... Oh, my water is running out because I'm getting more people. But as soon as I installed that water plant, you can see my money is now on the decline. So I need more people to work to gain more money. I could just make people become oil workers. Too much sickness. Okay, I lost. I did not even notice that. That's another point that I'm not a fan of, is critically important parts of the challenge are not pointed out to you, but maybe that's a part of the message. Maybe they're saying some of the worst problems in the world aren't immediately obvious. You know, like there's greenhouse gases. You can't turn on the television and see what number greenhouse gas is at, but it's a problem. I don't know. I'll excuse poor game design for storytelling purposes. Okay, King Protea and Mr. G, thank you for follows. Okay, now I finally understand what they're trying to get me to do for this. I get it. Okay. Trying to think. Okay. Start with 1 water. This is always my strategy. To get that synergistic effect over there. But before I even start building the other things, I'm gonna get people started here. And I don't know if this is an intended feature, but you gotta... If you split a tower in half so that they're touching the outer wall, you don't need to totally surround it for it to be accessible, so you can create these weird little like half towers. Okay, so electricity. Oh yeah, but I can't build too many more of these because people will need electricity, and if they don't get electricity, they're gonna move out. So I do need to start oil production early on. So let me start with just that. Okay, everything's green. Don't die. I'm giving you what you want. They're all complaining about electricity because I have 0 right now, but I should be combating that. Okay. What notice about this game is that it's using orthographic perspective. So, there is no vanishing point in the depth that's rendered in this game. which is like when you create an isometric game, you use that sort of perspective, but this is letting me rotate around, so it's kind of a weird thing to see what rotation looks like in an orthographic perspective. Okay. Electricity is going really well because that's always the thing. Filthiest forms of energy oftentimes give us the most energy the fastest, but it's going to start making people sick, so I need to get some babu in my city. What was the last movie that I saw? It was, because I just saw it a few days ago, it was Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events was the last movie that I saw. Okay, so then they're gonna need more water, and then as soon as I build more water, it's gonna need stuff. And families need more leisure points. So the most leisurely tree that you can make is an ash tree. So place those together. I never read the books, the Series of Unfortunate Events, but I read on the wiki that the movie was supposed to be a summary of 3 of the books, all in one film. And I read that the film has a way lighter tone to it than the books did. Okay, so I have consumer and labor. Also, by the way, the reason I have this game right now is because it's on sale on Steam for like $5. I think it's normally like 10 or 15 or something like that. So it's on pretty heavy sale. The big sale, whatever. So can I start educating folk? I have enough youth and labor. All right. And there is a limit to how high this tower can be. So there's my school. Youth is on the decline as schools consume our children. But I should be getting knowledge points. And if I get enough knowledge, I can reduce sickness. And sickness is halfway to 100. There's going to be a Netflix original series about the books. Really? Oh, you're right. See, this is why I wish it would alert me. Yeah, but how was it functioning then? It was doing its thing, even though it didn't have an... That was weird. Alright, see you later, Shalag. Shalag. Well, electricity's doing good, money's doing good, but sickness is still on the rise, so I think I will place... Oh, geez. Okay, I need plastic production because the clinic consumes plastic. Great. Now plastic has its own set of challenges to produce because it needs oil, and I'm using oil for electricity. Okay, they knew what they were doing when they made these challenges. Okay. So it needs labor, electricity, and oil. And how much oil do I have right now? 13 oil. So I think this plastic factory is going to deplete my oil pretty fast. So I think I need to build more. Yep, yeah. I'm losing oil faster than I'm producing it, so I'm gonna have to get more extractors. Factory worker unlocked. So I'll have one dude just moonwalk into the corner because excellent pathfinding. Now, knowledge. His 47 Lamborghinis in the Hollywood Hills. Really bothers me that not all of the resources are visible on the screen at once. Like, just make this thing bigger, come on. Like, they need a UI expert to come in here and do an overhaul of this. Stats get even bigger than this though, as you can see. For some reason it lets me scroll and zoom at the same time. Why? Okay, so I'm producing more oil barrels. They're probably not very fun though. I know there's so many things could be taken like a symbolic representation of life. It's like you can't keep track of all of the flow of resources, you know, just like real life. You won't know that everyone's gonna die until it's too late. And sickness is already at 92. God damn it. Clinic. Put a clinic right across from the plastic factory. Okay, so you can see it reduced sickness growth down to 0.02. Is that the tipping point? Let me put the other clinic over here for no particular reason. Alright, 97 sickness, but I'm losing laborers, but I should be able to pull through because I have 95 labor gathered up. I know, just look at that guy, he's being so productive as he walks. Oh, saying it's symbolic. Well, he keeps walking, but he never really gets anywhere. That can be the lesson that we learn in life. Look at this beautiful city. So sickness is being reduced. Oh, but I'm gonna run out of youths? Don't know how much higher I want this tower to go. I don't know if it will start losing structural integrity. So this is the only producer of youth right now, is the family-sized apartments. Oh, but wait, no, I think I can get away with labor. Because I have 91, okay, but they're gonna move out if they don't get more of their chill trees that produce leisure. No, what? Why? Okay. I just don't like having thing. You know, there's my one citizen. Look at that guy. Thrilling. Unlocked the fox. Dude. Got a fox. Does it do anything? I don't think I can click it. Oh, I still don't have enough leisure. People are not relaxed enough in my city. Almost halfway to electricity. It's like you can reach a certain balance and just sit here for like 15 minutes waiting for time to pass. But I can always increase production of everything to speed it up. Like right now I'm losing water because I just added more trees. So when I add another water thing. Oh, I'm making enough money that I guess I could afford that. Oil is the big biz. It's making me rich, but it's also making everyone sick. I checked out any of the abandoned videos yet. I might have accidentally ran into one. Did they do one about Circuit City recently? Like an abandoned old Circuit City store or something? Which sounds so funny to say. It's sort of like an abandoned hospital or an abandoned World War II weapons factory. It's like an abandoned electronics store. Losing labor, but the water collector does sound like a toilet. Oh, thanks for the follow, Terracotta Clay. I was watching Night Mind and I came across Circuit City one. I did not watch much into it though, so I'd still have to look into it more. Like in my own YouTube channel, it's kind of funny that it says recommended on the side of like other channels that I should follow based on myself, and all the recommendations are just Vinesauce people because I think like 90% of all the people that watch my channel came from Vinesauce, and they watch GPM and Rev and like all those people. So all the recommendations are other Vinesauce people. Yeah, Jeff or Videobum in the chat recommended me to Nightmind, and I've been watching his videos. Definitely a Spoopster fan. Well, I could win if I just let this sit, but I'll take the challenge and increase production. So what do I have an excess in that I could take advantage of? Got a lot of money, huge amount of waste generating, but I have no way of doing anything with that. I'm more looking at what, okay, oil is doing pretty well. Maybe I could burn through the oil, get more storage. No, the only reason I would need storage is for money, so I don't need that. I just need to be generating more electricity. I'll risk putting 2 of these side by side so they'll work faster. Do I need labor for these? It's so weird to see my name without a broadcast. Oh yeah, when you see someone in someone else's channel, it's weird to not see the red broadcaster badge. Yeah, Nick Nocturne. I want to know if he intentionally speaks the way he does, or if that's actually his natural speaking patterns. He puts emphasis on the strangest parts of words. Like, he'll rush the last few words of a sentence, and then he'll put a lot of stress on, like, an unnatural part of a word. Like, is that a part of his identity as the Nightmind guy? Like, hello everybody, I'm Nick Nocturne. I'm gonna show you something spooky that may spook you. I don't know. Oh, he does podcasts too? I've only watched his YouTube videos. Spooping you hard. Sounds dirty. Let's see if I can get away with a 3rd generator. I'll burn my way to the finish. Like the G-Man from Half-Life. Yeah, it's kind of like he's not fully human. So putting a generator there is draining my oil supply, but I'm gonna generate enough electricity by then, so it shouldn't be a problem in the long run. Have I watched The Proper People? No, I haven't. They look at abandoned buildings. They're like urban explorers. Should I put a 4th generator? Oh god. Oh, I should be watching sickness. Oh, yeah, sickness is on the rise again, but I'm so close. $9.20, 9.19. So there is some subtle rises and falls. It's not perfectly consistent. I don't know if they intentionally added a lot of noise to everything. Like slightly unpredictable elements just to make it interesting or what. Wow. Even though I have 4 generators, my clinics are working overtime. They're able to keep up with the rate that people are getting sick. Bright Sun Films. Abandoned Guy also does a bit of urban exploring as an offshoot. I mean, that's like something that urban exploring has always interested me as a thing. I just could never do it myself. I mean, I live in a historic district of my town. Congratulations! All right, well, that was that challenge. Not all of them go that slow, but yeah, I live in a historic district. I have some of the oldest buildings in Minnesota, and it's always like, oh, I would just love to see what they look like inside, but I'm more keeping an eye out for tours than just breaking in. And we've had a lot of people break into these sites, and people get injured, and they practically kill themselves trying to get into them because they're so old. It was Comic-Con Simulator trying to keep everyone not sick at once. That should be one of the challenges. Like, can you put 25,000 nerds into one space and reduce the amount of sickness? Okay, so this one's called Feed Me. Some products might not be able to stay in storage for long. Figure out how to sell and manage your stock. Create 200 bread and less than 50 wheat. Okay, this is getting weird. So I gotta make bread. But first, I must invent the universe. So, what do I have access to? Oops. So, new items. Bakery. Wheat, labor, and consumer will produce bread and money. Cafe. That will produce community and money, but it will reduce the coffee supply. And an office building, which will create more consumers, but I need education. A market, which will produce a lot of money. So I can kind of see what direction this is going. Ooh, I do get solar panels. So really the only negative part of solar panels is that they take up space in context of this game. Get an algae farm, which takes gray water. For those who don't know, gray water is dirty water that cannot be consumed, but it's water that can be filtered to be clean. I don't know if the actual term black water is real, but I imagine that would be water that is too filthy to ever consume again. But gray means that it still has a chance of coming back. So the algae farm actually takes gray water that's produced by people, and it creates algae and it creates clean water. So really the whole point of the algae farm is to naturally clean out dirty water. And then anaerobic digester takes organic waste and creates biogas and fertilizer. And I have biomass generator that takes algae, creates electricity and fertilizer. And I'm pretty sure this is all in preparation for... Where are my crops? Yes, for wheat field. Golden field of wheat to provide grain and flour. So before I even start building anything, because everything is time dependent, I don't want to drop anything down and start throwing stuff off balance. So since the wheat field is going to be like the fundamental building block of this challenge, I'm going to have to make sure I get enough fertilizer and labor to keep up with, ouch, to keep up with everything. Smacked my elbow into a door hinge. I'll just take a stab at it and say I'll just start generating electricity. I have a feeling I may regret putting that many, but we'll see. And I'll be losing money the instant I drop this water plant. What do you guys say? White water is consumable, gray water is what goes down the drain from sinks to shower, black water is what goes down the drain from toilet. Oh. Interesting. It's probably like the content mixed with the liquid. Liquid. Like I said, I haven't done these challenges before, so I gotta think pretty hard about it. Because you can make a community garden. They call them planters, but it's if you have a high amount of community, the everyday systems or everyday citizens are willing to use their own time to produce vegetables. So that way I don't need to invest money in it. People will just make their own vegetables if you have a good enough community spirit. So if I make a pleasant enough environment for the people, they'll help me out. Where do I even start? Because as soon as I drop this, I'm gonna need a huge amount of water to keep up with the crops, so... And I'll just fill in the rest with these. Okay, so now losing money. See you later, Sarajevo. You have a long drive in a few hours. Good luck. As that dude would say in Star Fox, good luck. In the SNES. Actually, I think he does in the 64 version too. Okay, so then the next step would be... God, what would it be? Bakery. The bakery's too high up. I need to get crops. And the organization of these things are not very good either. I have to click through so many things. Wheat field. Water, labor, fertilizer. Okay, I have no fertilizer. So this isn't actually the fundamental piece. Where do I get fertilizer from? Actually, I forgot, you can click... Oh, if you don't have it, it doesn't work. But you can click over here and see, like, okay, what generates, or what's related to money? Water tower and windmill will take in money as an input. The only thing that outputs money are the bakery, cafe, market, and office. But, okay, fertilizer. I think the only producer of fertilizer is... Oh, the anaerobic digester. So I have two routes I could take. The digester does the best... Oh. What if I place a lot of trees that create organic waste? Which I already did, I put a couple. Let me put even more. Because this will be really good. If I can create a lot of organic waste, not from people, I won't have to worry about all the other bad things that people bring to a city. So let's see if I can do that. I don't think I'll get synergy points. Let's see. No, it's considered industrial, so... Actually, I don't lose anything for just deleting stuff, so... I mean, I do, but I don't, like, you know, lose stuff. I can't think of how to explain it. Yeah, what else could I put this near where it would benefit? Put it near planters. Oh. So I've heard that there's some cities, like all of these blocks are based off of real technology. And I heard that these anaerobic digester things could be the future of waste management, where instead of just a trash can with the trash in, that it would be an actual device that would compress and would forcibly digest the trash that goes into it. So you would, from the exact point of throwing it away, it would be creating compost just out in everyday parts of the streets. Like you wouldn't have to bring it out somewhere. Okay, well, I'll leave a little buffer here for this industry. Wait, is that accessible? I forgot that's the thing. Oops. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I'm slowly creating fertilizer. But I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up organic waste production because it's already just barely above 0. But I can get gray water production going up. Could get algae, which is really, this is a free source of electricity because it gives you the exact amount of water back. 8 gray water in, 8 fresh water out. Okay, I'm not producing fertilizer very fast. Alright, let's see what the rate that I can produce organic waste. Again, like, look at this. Large apartment produces 3 gray water, 3 organic waste. So a single family apartment is the biggest producer of organic waste and gray water, so maybe I'll have to put people in the society after all. Okay, I'll try to take a different approach to building this tower, just to... See what I was saying about it. It's very quiet at times, which silence can be good, especially at this time of night. So I can't start doing community gardens because I don't have people, so... This is going to be a really ugly building. Wait, but I don't have access to schools. How am I supposed to increase knowledge with no schools? Am I missing something? Yeah, imagine how much gray and black water the human race makes in a day. That's true because I live in an apartment complex that has a lot of people in it. And I'll walk around in the basement parking lot area to like throw out recycling and stuff. And I can hear all the pipes as it drips down. And it's just nonstop. Like all throughout the day, you hear water going down the drains from the shower, from kitchen, from the washing machines, the dishwashers. They're just constantly using water. But you don't really ever lose water. It's just that it becomes polluted and has to be processed. And then the processing is what uses the fuels and, you know, makes stuff cost energy. Yeah, I don't have anything that creates knowledge, so how am I supposed to use these other things? Am I missing something here? None of these make knowledge. Well, that is very weird. No, I don't hear the people actually using the toilet. I meant I hear the water after you flush, you know, as it goes down the drain. I would not sit and listen to people using the bathroom. But this game has done this before, where it gives me something that requires a resource that you are not able to get. And this is where I stall a lot when I play this game, because I'm like trying to comprehend. Like I'm losing money as I sit here and don't do anything. That's why it's a good idea to have systems that automatically recycle gray water as toilet water. That it is. You just get more of those sorts of systems in people's homes, but I imagine like maintenance of them. There's got to be a million reasons why it isn't already in people's homes. Okay, so the approach I need to take. So I can't do anything with offices because I don't have any knowledge points. No way of getting it. Market is going to be... Well, I'm just trying to make bread and when it comes down to it, right? So... all I need is the bakery, so I just need to get wheat fields. Wheat fields require fertilizer, right? Yeah, so I think that's my next logical step. Oh wait, but the... Okay, no, that's right. Okay, so... And this is a very mellow game. I stream pretty wide range of games, not all of them are this chill. Even though I hear people using the word chill like interchangeably with like cool. Which sounds really funny now that I say that out loud, but you know, cool as in like awesome. So someone will say, yeah, I'm gonna go see, what is it? Oh, I found a $5 bill on the ground on my way to work today. And then someone will say like, yeah, that's pretty chill. Like, what? How is that chill? The longer slang hangs around, the more it just becomes butchered and loses its meaning. Okay, so now I should be producing wheat. And Organization, please. Producing greenhouse gas with the wheat field. Interesting. So, oh, labor is going to be... Okay, I need more people. It's funny because the type of memory needed for a game like this is not the type that I pride myself in. So it's sort of just strange for me to be enjoying this game. Oh, I'm out of money. Okay. See, it takes that long to like realize that that is what my biggest failure is right now, is there's no jobs. But to make money, I need a market. But I need fish to make a market, and I have no means of producing fish. So what are people supposed to do to make money? Oh, the bakery is the only source of money. Okay, let me try this. I'll put this bakery here, which is just very awkwardly smashed right into an elevator. The designs of some of these buildings aren't very appealing. So butcher unlocked. Speaking of butchering, we got a butcher. Okay, let me do a second bakery. Let's do a tower of bakeries. No! Oops. Don't want to... Too much wheat. It's interesting. So now that I have 2 bakeries, I'm gaining money. Oh no, I'm still losing more than I'm gaining, so... How do I get community? Okay, no, so I can't even use a market because I don't have any fish. Can't do offices. Oh, everything's breaking apart because I have not enough money. Okay, what I'm gonna do, because I know kind of what I'm supposed to be doing here, I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna go very fast. Fast in terms of like my rate of fast. Okay. Let's get that going, and then I needed organic waste producers, so I'll just make my classic corner apartment. Need labor. I need more organic waste. So let's bring all the kids around the table to produce waste. And corner apartment. What? Oh, okay. Corner apartment produces... Oh, youths. So it's a family-oriented apartment. I don't need any kids here. They'll just ruin everything. Okay, so right now, with this setup, I'm going to be losing a lot of money right now. It's not nearly leisurely enough. Okay, let me give you some leisure. Now I'm low on water. Put another one of those. Now I'm low on money. I got too much weed. Organic waste. So I'll get this bad boy rolling. Which it is inaccessible, isn't it? Oh. God, I always forget to do this. Okay, so that is accessible. Let's see, I'm glad chat is watching out for my lack of elevator. Okay, so now I'll get the fields going. I can remember where they are. Okay. So I'm still losing money, so I need to get the bakery going as soon as I can. Because the thing is that the elevator requires constant money to be used on it. So if I can keep my buildings as compacted as possible, it would be cheaper in the long run. Let me put a frickin' bakery on top of apartment. Okay, so I'm not making enough wheat to keep up. Oh wow, the bakery uses a ton. So I think I can put many more wheat fields. Okay, so not getting enough fertilizer, so I'll get... Oh no, I'm gonna be... Oh, all that gray water, yes! So now I can do algae farm with the water. Which will be making algae, which... Oh, is my rate... Okay, I can do another one of these. Alright, it's exactly, because now I'm at 0 gray water, so I'm making and losing the exact amount. So now... Okay, where's algae? It's pretty low. Oh, it takes 10 algae to start making electricity and fertilizer out of it? Okay, so I'll need to wait for that to gather up. I'm losing labor. Oh no, OCD. I'm glad it lets you rotate blocks after you've placed them. More labor. Still losing money because bakery is the only thing that I can afford. Only money making thing that I can afford. I don't know why it even gives me these other things when I can't make that resource. Okay, where's the... Well, organic waste I have a ton. Okay, so I can afford a second one of these. I don't know what I use biogas for, though. It doesn't even show up as a... Oh, no, it does. Okay. Huh. Top floor bakery. Yeah, it's like a secret plan to keep people in shape. They have to get their food at the very top of the building so they get exercise. I mean, it's like, if they knew people were going to make towers and stuff out of this, why don't they decorate the back of it so it doesn't look so ugly when it's stacked in a tower like this? Severely low on labor. Get everyone pregnant. Get lots of labor. No. And this is my only source. Yes, I will increase the height. I'm low on electricity. Which, how's my algae doing? 64? I think I can afford the biomass generator. Yeah, in sandbox mode, you just have everything. And I started with sandbox mode and I was like, what? So everything is unlocked and you have access to an insane amount of things. So whatever 6 times... Let's see. 6 times... I can't even mental math. 32, I think is how many total. Okay, so algae's going down. I'm still losing money. I'm gonna run out of money again. But it's just like I can't possibly keep up with how much wheat is needed. I don't have any community. So I can't do planters or community gardens. That's why I get confused. Oh. Cafe. Okay. So I have to use some of my bread. Okay, see you later, Squirrelicious. I got way too many kids in the city, nowhere for them to go because I don't have any schools. Okay, I'm halfway to how much bread I need, but now I'm using bread to try to stay in business. Okay, so that cafe stopped my town from going bankrupt. Maybe this is actually sustainable. I can't produce coffee. I know it says too much wheat, but like... I can't just... Ugh, okay, then my biomass generator just blew up. Why was that? Did I use all the algae? No? Why did it blow up? Oh my god, it was inaccessible, wasn't it? When everybody falls asleep to my streams, I'm fine with. Holy moly, I got a ton of organic waste. Okay. See, this is the trick to this game, is being able to manage how much crap is going on at once. Let's get all these anaerobic generators going. Let's produce more fertilizer, which means more wheat. Wait, why is it decaying? Oh, it's inaccessible. God. Oh, I have to have less than. Oh. My God, I forget. It should have a thing up there reminding me that. I mean, it does say too much wheat, but I forgot that there's an actual amount of money I have to keep below. Well, that's ridiculous. So I failed that. But for the sake of the stream, I'm just gonna move on to the next challenge, so you can see how hard some of these can be. Good Lord. Okay, pretend I beat that one. Yay. Okay, this is the beer-oriented one. Sometimes the lack of space forces you to think vertically. Vertical farming is an example of this. Try to build a profitable brewery by working with limited space. Produce 500 units of beer, 1,000 units of money, while having less than 1,000 units of organic matter. Okay. Well, a big thing about my stream is that I like variety. So I'm not one to just slave away at one challenge over and over. Like, I am the opposite of a speedrunner. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like tirelessly slave away. I can think of a better term. Work hard at one task to do it as good as I can. I just want to do a lot of different things all over the place. Okay, so new challenge. Well, now I have stuff for building vertically more effectively. I have stairs, structured corridors. Oh, gas generator, so biogas. So gas is generated from compost. It can be burned, and it's gonna make pollution, greenhouse gases, but it's going to make me electricity. Yeah, this is really limited, so brewery, okay. Wheat and water. And it naturally creates organic waste. So I have to keep organic waste under what? Under 100. See you later, B-dude. So the bar needs beer and labor, and consumers, you know, make money. So I'm not just producing beer for nothing. I have to actually produce enough of an excess to meet the challenge, but also give me enough money to sustain myself. Everybody's leaving. Oh, see you later, T-Star. That's right, I gotta get this business going too. Oh, but this produces organic waste. Okay. So now I don't have algae farms, but I need to get wheat. Okay, so stairs require no electricity and considerably less money to maintain. If I can create a stair-based tower, that would be more efficient than the elevator. Shoot, I already did this wrong. I'm gonna stack stuff. I need to use the supported, structured corridor. This is where it gets a little rough. No, trying to figure out where to place things. The camera doesn't always cooperate. Oh my god, just let me place the thing. Keep the bars on the floor to reduce lawsuits from people, from drunks falling on stairs. I don't know. I'll turn it into a national pastime of descending the stairs while drunk. You know, that was a lot of money to spend right off the bat. Oh god, and it closes the thing. But I'll take that challenge and try to speed it up. So you can put some fields and stuff on top of buildings too. But how am I getting fertilizer? Oh, the anaerobic. Okay. Wow, I see what they mean about the lack of space. If I can get enough biogas generating, I could just rely on that and remove some of the solar panels. For biogas money. I don't really want to be spending any more money. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have put that much in place right off the bat. Okay, am I getting enough? 12? No, but that costs money. Okay, I think I can start producing wheat. See, can I afford a second one? Can. Okay. Then how am I making money? Oh, there's so many steps needed for me to make any money. Because the bar is my only source of income, I think. Is that accessible? Okay, we're good. Wait, what is this? Oh, it hasn't produced anything yet. Okay, that's fine. Oh god, yeah, you're right. It's like too much for me to mentally process. Here, let me get rid of a tree. Rip tree. Then I'm out of money. No, everything's gonna die. Yeah, I shouldn't have put all of this in that quickly. Jeez, okay. I need to get the entire brewing industry in place before I even start having people move in. Hmm. Okay, let me restart. I'm glad it so quickly lets you restart. It doesn't sit there on a loading screen for 10 minutes. Okay, gotta start really small. Okay, start with that. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. See, the thing with elevators, these little red triangles, those are the entry points. So one of those has to be touching one of the edges of your block thing, or it has to be touching a corridor, which is just a flat thing, like a walkway. But the stairs has one entrance for that. So it makes this hard. One alcoholic at a time. Yeah, you gotta start slow. Okay, so the first thing I needed. Yeah, I need more organic waste. I do need people to be shitting themselves enough so that I can be using that to produce biogas. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to structure this town. Would it work if I... No, because then the stairs aren't facing anything. This doesn't make sense. Let me do this. And I used the wrong one. Alright, family. Get producing that waste. So then hopefully I can afford enough that will allow me to build one of these. See if I can start it. Actually, no, let me move that over the other place. They're going very slowly. Okay, so how's wheat production? It's going slow. Can I afford this brewery? Oh, it's a negative. People don't want a brewery right next door? Aren't they hipster enough to like want their craft beers? They're producing beer yet? Okay, so electricity is very much at a bad point right now. Oh, it's at 0 exactly. So money is my big problem right now. I'm still not actually making money off of anything. Okay, I think I can actually afford the bar. Um, I need more people to keep up customer base. Agent unlocked hipster. So when I put the bar in, it gives me a hipster. Which it just looks like a normal person with like a fancy... Oh, he has like sunglasses and a interesting haircut. He glows in the dark, apparently. Space is limited, I can't... Let's see, is this... Just to stay afloat. So when you're doing this in sandbox mode, you actually have seasonal progression. So you'll have times when solar doesn't work at all, or it is almost useless because there's not enough sunlight. No direct sunlight, I meant to say. There is like an auto rotate mode in here, so you can just be like... full immersion. So I think as long as organic waste stays below 100, which it is doing pretty well, it's jumping up and down. Yeah, I can actually put the solar panels on the buildings, but the problem is I'm gonna need to continually build on top of the buildings. Well, it would take up that tile space. Only I had the algae plants. Or algae farms. I could be using this gray water. Okay. So in order to make this more efficient, I guess I'll look at whatever I have an abundance of and see how I could potentially profit off of that. So there was this electricity solution. Gas generator. How much? Have a lot of biogas. Money is going decently. So this would actually solve my electrical problem. If I place this, then you would pollute. But this challenge doesn't seem to care about how much pollution is made. So let's lump this into my industrial zone. Ah, it's at equilibrium with biogas production. But my electricity was just doubled production. Wait, what? What are you complaining about? Is it not accessible? You suck. Ugh. The people don't want it there. Son of a bitch. Maybe I'll just put it way over here. There. No, we're not harming anyone. Here's another hipster. Well, he's definitely not mainstream because he's actually moving when his legs move. He's not just walking into a wall like that guy that was outside the clinic earlier. So all I need to worry about is keeping organic waste as low as it can. Or I need to keep it even, which is at 0.1. God, this would be a very slow victory, though. If I have to leave this running in the background. But I guess that's part of the challenge, is you got to figure out, well, how can I speed everything up? Just read an article. It says that Steam is going to be getting a 360 viewing thing for VR. Should be nice, because as someone who is kind of working in the 360 video industry, sort of, it would be great to not have to use a phone or a Gear VR. If I could use my Vive to show 360 videos also, that would be pretty cool. Okay. Organic waste is making its way up there. So is fertilizer. I have a lot of water. Maybe I can afford more wheat, so I don't just have to sit here. See if I can push it. Dang it, I always forget what... There. More wheat. So does that mean I can afford another brewery? Hello, Grey Ghost. Okay, so water is not doing well. Labor is at equilibrium. Hmm. So beer production, I believe, was doubled from that. I have 2 distilleries. I can keep... Oh, organic waste is at 84. Alright, let's get another one of these. Oh, I didn't know there's synergy between anaerobic digester and the gas generator. You know, a quarter there. So organic waste is declining, but it's at such a shallow rate that it should actually work. Labor is at 0. All this gray water, though, I don't have anything that uses it. Greenhouse gases are just jumping up in the air. Oops. Pollution's also rising. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to speed up time. I can take a screenshot. Let's see, what are the controls? Are you kidding me? Does it not let you look at the controls? That's stupid. You have to go back to the main menu to do that? What? Well... Thank you for the follows, Professor Fishy and Grey Ghost. So I think it's another case of I could technically win with this, but I'd have to sit here for a very long time. I don't know why they didn't have a feature to speed stuff up. Yeah, I'm pushing all these buttons. None of them seem to be speeding up time. Well, how could I make this go even faster? So I got organic waste is on the decline. Maybe I could get another digester. Make even more fertilizer, which in turn... How was that not accessible? You're touching another identical piece. I thought that was part of the deal. Suck. A lot of these things can't be stacked, so I can't just keep going vertical. Put it here. So that works for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to be breaking down organic matter even faster. So that means that fertilizer should be way faster. And biogas. So I could probably remove this solar panel. And it won't affect anything. Yeah, it is like SimCity Tetris. But I like how you don't have to pay anything to drop something. It's about balancing everything. So that's cool. I could just get rid of a solar panel altogether and it didn't affect anything negatively. Water's still going good, so I could get another wheat field. Oh, but labor. Which means... How do I have this view still up? Which means I'm gonna have to get more peeps. Okay. And it's not leisurely enough here, so... Gonna need a tree. Wait, what else can produce leisure? It's just if I click on it, trees are the biggest producer of leisure, which is kind of an abstract way to think about it. Oh, what is this? Beer garden. I didn't even know I had this. Thanks, interface. Produces money, leisure, and community. But it takes a lot of beer and consumers and fresh air. I think I will take the tree route to leisure because I have a lot of water, so let's just slop it on over here. Oh, I didn't realize putting trees near residential areas will increase the residential production rate. Guess people just get really turned on when there's a tree in their backyard. Oh, I'm getting dangerously low on organic waste now. Water is even. I feel like I could have laid this out a little better, but I've made it this far. I might as well try to go all the way. I don't know if I'm gonna play anything else tonight. I wasn't planning on streaming too long. If I switched games, I would be like... probably be up all night. Okay, I'm gonna run out of organic waste. Okay, what makes organic waste? Oh, distillery does, or brewery. Do I have a lot of wheat? Wheat, water, and labor. Wheat, where's that? Oh, I do. If I get a second or a third brewery, maybe this will help solve that problem. Oh, and I'm running out of water. But I have a huge amount of water, so maybe that will help push me to the finish. And I'm losing labor, so what... Oh no. It's not making enough organic waste. I think I can afford another apartment. Okay, so my strategy is that I'm allowing water to be on the decline as long as everything else is running well, as long as my industries are running. Yeah, this is only one of the, it's like the 6th challenge out of 20 something. Just a lot of these take so much time. I mean, I kind of wish stuff would go at a faster rate. But I can imagine failing faster. I wish I could just switch things off instead of having to destroy them completely. They'll just have this one dude. He doesn't eat, doesn't sleep. Just forever walks between 2 tiles. So I'm only halfway to reaching the money amount that I need to be making. So I feel like, because my only way of making money is the bar. I don't think the beer garden oh, it does make money. Wait, does it make more money than the bar? No, but actually, this would be a very good solution because everything that it takes, I have a huge amount of money, or a huge amount of resources, so this will be very efficient. So I'm going to get rid of a leisure tree and replace it with a beer garden. Don't tell the activists that I'm doing this. Alright, folks. Beer garden time. Look how minimal everything is. So now I'm making a lot more money. What if I can afford 2? Beer garden drinkers unlocked. I got this like depressed guy with a hat and a mustache. Just sitting there staring forward. So, yeah, I have a ton of consumers. Tons of fresh air still. And beer production is still really high, so I think beer gardens are what's going to push me to the finish line. I'll be bleeding resources for a while, but I think that should speed this up. Okay, I'll put it right here. Oh, and putting the beer garden next to the brewery speeds it up. That's good to know. Because you try to chain stuff together when you put inputs and outputs next to one another. That's what makes synergy. Oh, organic waste is rising. Kind of wish I could see like a line graph to represent my progress. Yeah, this is more of a puzzle game than anything else. My God, I got so much biogas. I could probably, which would make so much pollution, I could get rid of all of my solar panels and replace them with gas generators. Oh, but it costs money, so that would slow everything down, so I shouldn't do that. I'll just have to live with the fact that I have enormous amounts of biogas and also gray water. The sound of the cricket at night with soothing music, and it being like 4 a.m. where I am right now. It all has a synergistic effect, making me tired. Whoa, looks like Pandora changed their apps icon. I'm looking at my phone. So really, I just need to keep my eye on organic waste. Because if that gets above like 70, I'll need to do something. I'll need to toss in a anaerobic thing to use it. So what I think I will do is once this is over, which it's going so slow, I will look at one of the really high challenges. Like I'll jump ahead like 10 just to show you guys so the even more complicated ones are. Then I think I will be done. Then I'll shove y'all over to Videobum. But, yeah, so what can I do to speed this up? That's kind of the big question of this game, is how can you make things efficient? So, then I gotta break it down. So I need to be making more beer. So that means I would need to get another distillery. Why do I keep calling it brewery? So how's wheat going? Oh no, water is on the decline, so that would be the risk. Labor is very low. So I'll take some more risks here. I'm gonna get 2 more of these. Wait, well... When you say poop factory, do you mean the anaerobic things, or are you talking about people? Because people are the ones producing it. these digesters are the ones. I guess you could. It is a digester. It is kind of like a food factory. Oh my god, organic waste is at 90. I could suddenly lose. Let me get rid of a chill tree. Put another poo factory. Oh my god, that beer garden wasn't even accessible this whole time, so it wasn't doing anything. Are you kidding me? Well, I think electricity generation is so high, I can just get rid of this solar panel altogether. And I will move this useless garden, beer garden, and move it over here. Wow. Okay, almost reached the money limit, so money isn't an issue because apparently that bar is just raking in the profits. Well, now especially with 2 beer gardens, those are raking in the profits. So now I just have the beer production to try to speed up. So what would happen if I made another brewery? Think water. Have enough water stored. I could bleed water without a problem. I have a lot of labor stored and a lot of wheat. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's push through. I know that just pissed a bunch of apartment people off. So now labor is gonna drop even faster, which actually isn't that fast. But beer production should be going faster. That is definitely a bug in the game when that happens. Oh hey, we have a new person in the beer garden. It's my city's first female. And she's sitting all alone in a wheat field in the summer. And then we got creepy dude with the stash and the trilby. Got a lot of community spirit, but have nothing to use community, so... yeah, nothing. About to reach the money cap. You may find yourself sitting in a wheat field stash. Now she is being the nonconformist here. She actually allowed the lighting to reduce the color of her entire body, whereas the mainstream members of my society glow in the dark. So she is thinking outside the cube. Mafia-owned beer garden. I know it does look like it. There's some serious stuff. What's funny is that this game, it does have a crime element. You don't see it in here. It was actually one of the later editions of the game. They call crime risk. So by incorporating low income housing, you have an increased risk. Kind of like how it doesn't treat anything as inherently bad. Like how I need organic waste. You'd think that waste is a bad thing to have in a city, but it's like, it could be good. Same with like greenhouse gases. Like I have more greenhouse gases than pretty much anything else in my city. And more gray water, tons of things. But the game doesn't treat those things as bad. It's just sort of like, just so you know. It's cool, I guess, how it does that. All right. I've met the money thing, expectation, goal. I just need to reach the beer one. Going very slowly, almost in 400. Then I'll have 100 more to go. I'm gonna run out of organic waste, but I can get rid of one of the digesters to make that happen. To make it rise again. Kind of want to just like unleash Godzilla into the city. Start a fire somewhere. Burn down the whole town. U is for uranium bombs. N is for no survivors. So maybe I can drop some things on the rooftops. Should I just put a brewery on the roof of this building? It's gonna piss everyone off. Maybe not. Oh, it's inaccessible though. Forgot, you need to be able to access stuff. But I have such an excess of money, I could afford it. Your city has too much money now. Not a big deal or anything. Gonna run out of organic waste. I think I should remove one of these dealios. Almost there. Sure, someone who's a lot better at this could probably get this done at a much faster rate. I think there's something aesthetically pleasing just about looking at it in this view where everything's just white. It's all uniform and pleasing. For some reason in this form, Mafia Dude turns transparent. I guess they all do. You can see all of the AO with this view, all of the ambient occlusion, meaning shadows formed from reflected light. So it's like when two objects are really close to one another, just because of the way light bounces, it creates a shadow. So that's one of the render passes that can be applied to any kind of 3D scene that just makes it feel real. It's like when you render ambient occlusion onto low poly art, it tends to make it look like paper all of a sudden. Gives stuff a material, textural feel. In this case, it's all baked. We're all baked, man. But it means that all the shadows are actually a part of the texture. So it was rendered once in 3D modeling software, and then it's actually put onto the two-dimensional texture. So it's not doing it in real time. I win! Congratulations, you deserve a nice cool drink for having completed challenge 7. Go grab a cold one. I'll see what this challenge is. What is it? Consumers can be hard to get. Perhaps some flashy lights can help. Produce 1,000 consumers in 20 retail shops and less than 100 organic waste. Boondock, you say, is this an ASMR challenge? If not, this should be. Welcome to an ASMR channel. Hey dudes, how's it hanging? I don't know any other ASMR things to say, but I am the G-Man. Well, I'll just see what this, wow, this introduces a lot of stuff. So I have neon advertising, which will attract tourists and consumers. You can make ponds, which gives me salt water. What else? I can produce oil. So it's giving me oil and solar as options. And I have an incinerator that will burn inorganic waste. So incinerator, yeah, that's gonna be... Let me see what it looks like. Cool. I like the looks of most of the buildings in this game. So incinerator is just a really quick way to get rid of trash, and it also gives electricity. So I can see the challenge of this being that you would very quickly start polluting the crap out of your town because you're so pressed for space and you're producing lots of trash because of all the people. So corner, yeah, I do have schools. Offices? Dang, this is just like the downtown experience. Corporate office. So why would a corporate office take oil? It's weird. Capsule hotel? Whoa, dude. The Vine Sauce Challenge. You have to burn as much trash as you can. It's a floating thing. I don't think the devs realize that it's floating. There's no limit to how much you can build. Just stack all these washing machines. I've always wanted to stay in a capsule hotel. I actually like small spaces quite a bit. But that would require me to go to Japan. Oh, so there's a hotel room. What does this look like? Interesting. So hotel room requires hot water, not just regular water. Water 2.0. You live in a capsule apartment, sort of 150 square feet. Really, that actually sounds pretty cool. Are you in like a downtown area? Like, are you in Manhattan? I think my apartment is, let's see. I think it's 300 something square feet. Mostly because the ceilings are so high. The floor space isn't that big. But I have 8-foot ceilings. Downtown Seattle. Oh, nice. I'm jealous. If I could live in any other city in the world, I would live in Seattle. I'm in Minneapolis right now, Minnesota. So is Seattle getting ravaged right now from storms? Because that's all we've been hearing about on the news here. Oh, my only plant life I can produce are cactuses and palm trees. Killer cacti. Hey, dude. So I'm not gonna actually attempt this challenge. I would be here for hours. Uh-oh, everything's dying. Ah. Oh, there goes my capsule hotel. There goes my hotel, period. Everything's dead. There were no survivors. So before I exit, I'm going to just click on these other challenges just to see what they are. So let's do the most... Oh, there's difficulty level Zen. It says the challenge is generate $100. Oh, generate 100 money, 100 wine, 100 bread, and 100 fabric. Interesting. Difficulty Venti. Complete 4 quick coffee-related challenges in succession. Taste of Tokaido. The Tokaido region was once the most important road in feudal Japan, inspiring art, culture, tourism in the Edo period. Create a 22-block corridor. Oh my god. 2 art galleries, 2 sushi restaurants, and generate 222 culture. There's a culture point? Space elevator. Generate 2001 technology units from a Blockhood that is 20 elevators tall. Holy balls. Enter the information age. Produce 1,000 electricity in 10 minutes. I'll show you guys the sandbox mode real quick, so you can see what all the unlocks look like. This is how I started the game, and I was like, there is way too much here. But now I'm kind of more comfortable with how much is here. So we got just a whole bunch of more stronger supports for taller buildings. You got a newspaper stand. All kinds of advertising to bring tourists. You get an escalator. This is all the infrastructure stuff. Recycling plants, waste sorting is a cemetery. Various fruit stands, vegetable stands. Solar tree. Food truck, you can just place a food truck. Cool. Solar tree. Oh, it's like a park bench. Huh. Green wall. That's actually a pretty cool concept. There's a lot of buildings, well, in more progressive areas, buildings that are incorporating green walls, where they're just gardens that grow vertically up the sides of buildings, and it filters out the air naturally. And it looks really nice as long as it grows well. Just put an obelisk in the middle of my city to increase culture. All kinds of like wonders. Can put a spa. Hybrid parks. So parks that provide more than just fresh air and leisure, they provide activities. No, I'm not gonna play the other challenges. I'll be here way too long. Maybe in another stream. Bee farm. I can make bees, fish, hydroponic farm. Hydroponics is cool. It's like soilless plant growth. You just continuously run nutrient-enriched water through the roots of plants. It's a really efficient way, as long as you can keep everything running. In real life, anyway. Compost plant, landfill. What else is new? Fog collector. Dude. This idea of a fog collector, that was in the Middle East, that was starting, or is right now, starting to become a pretty big thing. So it's just a giant blanket that is designed in a very specific way. It's kind of made up of tons of tiny little flat hydrophilic panels. And when fog rolls through, it grows like all kinds of, like doesn't grow, it just collects water from the air. So as fog rolls through, it sticks to it, and then it all drains down into these tubes that are then used as water. So if you live in a water scarce environment, that's like an option. But I've heard that they have to be huge for you to get even a decent amount of water. But for some places, that is better than absolutely nothing. Boiler. Oh, that's for making hot water, but I have to put oil into it. Or a solar heater. That's cool looking. Rice field. Geothermal generator. It's very expensive. Very expensive. But it generates electricity with very little pollution, next to no pollution. Water treatment plant. You give it salt water and electricity, and it creates pure water, and it decreases the amount of gray water. Pig pens. Cow pasture. I don't see no pig. Wait, what happens if I put them together? Does it... Oh, nice. It actually makes it bigger. You're pretty cool. Cornfield. Vineyards. Grain silo. Wine cellar. Apple orchard. Chicken barn. See, now in this full sandbox mode, you have different, what do you call them, like modifiers or things that can change. Like right now, this world is in a heat wave. So it says -5 leisure, so everyone's going to be a little pissed off. And it's very windy right now, so fresh air is increased and pollution is wiped out quicker. Sheep pasture, cow coffo, concentrated animal feeding operation for the industrial raising of cattle. So it produces a lot of meat, but it also produces a lot of sickness, which I don't think the animals will actually appear unless you're building, or unless your society can support it. GMO cornfield. That's gonna piss people off. So their portrayal of GMO in this game is you give it labor, water, fertilizer, and pesticides, and it will produce a lot of corn, but it produces sickness, pesticide shack, ethanol distillery. So ethanol is corn-based fuel. Cotton field, industrial gin, cotton mill, all kinds of coffee, an ostrich farm, wool mill. Oh boy, okay, so, okay, what's new with, got the capsule hotel, greenhouse, it's cool. Oh, it's like a volunteer farming operation. Art gallery. What does that look like in here? Interesting. Makerspace. Makerspace is where restless minds meet idle tools to create innovation. So this is when you get into the technology stuff. So you give it youth. You feed the makerspace youth and electricity and knowledge, and you produce technology and community. Tech office, you feed the tech office data, and it outputs technology. Tech factory, you produce devices out of technology, plastics, electricity. Barber shop, diner, antenna, you give it technology and electricity and it outputs data. What does this look like? Cool. I imagine this antenna is supposed to be on the roof, not just sitting on the ground. Butcher shop, various restaurants. Here's like the poverty buildings that increases risk, quote unquote. So the trade-off is that it requires very little inputs and it creates a lot of labor. So it's basically like a sweatshop. Oh, and then they just straight up have a sweatshop in the game. Studio space for, it gives you media and culture. Data center. Oh, damn. It's cool. It's like a server room. Processed food factory, luxury loft, jazz club, internet cafe. Is that still a thing? I think internet cafes are still in Japan, Asian countries, but they kind of died out here. Media tech, a sanctum holding media of all kinds. You give it data and community and it outputs entertainment. Sushi bar, cross support? What the hell? Whoa. Must be for making really huge buildings. Yoga studio, wine bar, brownstone apartment. That's an interesting thing too, is that materials that buildings are made from, this is like a real life thing, that the materials that it's made from will have effects on water that runs off of it. So this brownstone apartment, oh, okay, I think it's, well, okay, this is still related, but just anyway, that a lot of materials will, like water will become polluted when it runs off of buildings, and that's kind of the whole thing. And they talk about like the watershed of cities is that the surfaces of concrete and buildings and all that is non-permeable. So what happens when it rains is you get all kinds of toxic, disgusting chemicals that run off of buildings, and then they pool up in the city, making this very bad water. And then that water goes through, out of the cities, into the grass, and kills away plant life and any microbial life out there. Then that runs off into the rivers, which pollutes the rivers, which can pollute fish and any other kind of algae or things growing in various bodies of water. And it's just kind of that whole effect of starting from the bottom and going up, and it eventually affects people because of how the food chain works. So the material that buildings are made from is really important when it comes to environmental things because of this whole problem with runoff. And some things that they're doing to try to improve this is that when you have green roofs, things that are made of have grass covering rooftops, instead of having water just pool up on a rooftop and spill into the streets and bring all kinds of tar and shingle materials into the streets, it's just absorbed by the plants, and the plants consume it, and then they produce oxygen. So it's, I mean, in theory, that would be like a perfect solution, but it's just that, I mean, people have to maintain it. Not all buildings get the right amount of sunlight, and, you know, certain plants that should be up there and shouldn't be up there. And so more and more buildings are starting to create this sort of ecosystem mixed in with their construction. Like the school that I went to had a whole bunch of trees growing on a rooftop. It was pretty cool. Actually, in Minneapolis here, we have, I believe, the world's, not the world's, the country's largest green rooftop. And before I sign off, I'll find a picture of that. I just wanted to see what the rest of the plant life is. So you can actually change the elevation of the terrain, it looks like. Interesting. Hedge mazes, just every species of plant you can imagine. Wild oats. I love oats. You can create water canals that produce fish. Coffee fields. Wow, okay, well, here's my beautiful city where everything's dead. I like how they show that the food truck is not functioning as they just tip over the garbage container out front. Excite bike ramps. I know it does look like it. still here. Can you still hear me? I just was clicking through stuff. Well, this is deciding to be a jerk. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's see, here is Minneapolis. We have quite a few buildings that have solar rooftops. But, coolest of all, is that we have one of the biggest green roof spaces. So here's the convention center. Let me zoom in. It doesn't look very big from this perspective, but when you actually see what it looks like when you're standing on it, it's pretty massive. And of course, there's other cities. I mean, the US is pretty far behind when it comes to any kind of green anything. So, this will be small compared to a lot of stuff in Europe. Oh, I think it's not the convention center, it's the Target Center. Here we go. Wrong center. So yeah, it's just like an entire farm field that's on a roof of one of the biggest convention spaces that we have. I think the Target Center is where our basketball team plays, but it's used for a lot of other events too. Well, that's not even the same city. But unfortunately, I don't think they allow just anyone to go up and check it out. Like, you have to have connections. Well, anyway. Saying the conveyor footage is messing up my audio. I think it's just when I switch to it that it really messes it up, because I'll see that my CPU usage gets really huge as soon as I run it. I'll just have it on the static one until I'm done talking. But I am pretty much done talking, so I don't know. Thank you all. It's not actually a GIF, it's an MP4. But I'll try to figure out, maybe I can shrink the video so it doesn't use so much CPU. Normally I'm using like 7%, and then as soon as I put the video on, I'm using like 30% of my CPU. My CPU is very slow. It's the biggest bottleneck in my computer right now, so I need to, when I get more money, I'll have to get a new CPU. But anyway, I'm going to host Mr. Bum, who is doing Death Road to Canada, I think? I have no idea when I'm going to stream next, or what I'm going to be doing next. Maybe spooky stuff. Yes, very bad PC. But so long. Thanks for watching. The game you watched was Blockhood, and it's on Steam right now, and I think it's on sale for like $5. So if you enjoyed it, I recommend picking it up. Have a good night.